Welcome back to Tastes Like Burning This Mint.
This Jesse.
So, before we dive off in today's extraordinary podcast, if you ever have questions, concerns, comments, issues, theories, conjectures, independent voices, possibly litigation, find
Or,
us.
or if you just want to kind of shoot the crap.
Yeah, give us
Yeah,
an
we're good.
idea, something to talk about.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, speaking of that, give the email because
Yeah.
someone sent me a message.
Oh, wow. It tastes like burning at Gmail. It tastes like burningcast at gmail.com. Is how you get a hold of us. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on, well, it's X now. You can find us on Facebook. We're not super active on any of those, but we know we should be. We just are terrible, right? We're terrible humans. Probably not worth the time and energy and effort to listen to this podcast. But thanks for listening. And at at any chance you get the opportunity, you want to give us a little support, you can buy our merch. Links in the description for the merch, or you can hit us up on Patreon, where we sell a cheap subscription that doesn't get you anything other than helping us out. So we appreciate all those.
Sure. And even the questions, comments, issues, discussion points. So one of the one of the issues that was sent to me uh comes from Eric, and it says, and I'm gonna kind of paraphrase this because it's actually
14 paragraphs long.
yeah, that is Eric, you know who you are. Don't don't cliff notes. Cliff notes. Okay. So the biggest, baddest issue with the fire service is the way we have done it for years, and we shouldn't have to change now mentality. Radio wise, we're being pushed into a digital age, which leaves our mutual aid organizations behind, which is very true in our area.
Right.
Okay.
But that's very geographic, right?
I, yes,
Yes, but no. But more common now than 10 years ago.
sure. And it's going to be a lot worse in another 10 years.
Right.
Okay. Um, We have to update our radios and overcome the mindset of one channel to rule them all. When I program radios, pagers, and educate people on them, the phrase I hear is, these guys aren't going to change the channel, and I can't teach a senior how to turn the knob. And then more paragraph
Yeah.
stories.
Blah,
So,
blah, puke, blah. Right.
and it is. I visit with a lot of departments. This comes up a lot. And I kind of take a very different perspective on it.
Yeah, no, I do too.
Uh it's a communications problem, and what you're not selling is the benefit of, and you're not selling how easy it is to use the new equipment.
Right. Because if it's easy enough and there's benefits to it, they're going to do it because it's easier and there's benefits, right?
Right.
Like there's not a lot of argument in there. It 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 works, right? Now if it's convoluted and it's complicated and generally, very generally, we have a tendency to make things way more complicated than they have to be.
Period.
Right? So I can see entities and jurisdictions making the communications plan so complicated that it's like I need to know Morse code.
Hmm.
Like that can be a thing, right?
There's a certain part of it where it's really comical to me because firefighters inherently do some of the physically hardest work there is to known on the face of the earth, but at least it can be potentially very dangerous. And on the other hand, they're some of the most delicate flowers
Oh God, yes.
on the face of the earth. I don't know if I've ever encountered a group of people that are more sensitive to change or two different opinions. I mean, and I'm being serious when I say this. I see firefighters that have,
But
particularly the longer they've been on the job, they're more like you would think they're from Portland than they are a firefighter.
right.
Like they are so close-minded, they are so incapable of hearing a different opinion
But
or a technique, and all they do is throw their hands in their air and
but
start screaming.
but as an employer, a longtime employer, it's not just a fire service thing, right?
No, it's not. Of course not.
It's in every industry and every trade, and like people just want it to be like basically nothing to it, right? And there is something to it.
The other compounding factor on two factors, whether we like it or not, we're in an age of technological advances. And the fact of the matter is that the technology that increases or the compounding of technological advances today that is equivalent to basically every 5 years now versus historic traditional jobs, okay, incorporated with modern technology and modern techniques, okay. And there's not a single industry on the face of the planet now that doesn't face challenges of incorporating new technology or potentially a completely different way of looking at the solving of a classic problem.
So, and I'll go off on this tangent right quick and little thing. So this year is the 150th anniversary of the State Firemen Fire Marshal Association of Texas, right?
Correct.
So let's think about 150 years ago,
Okay.
1886. In 1886, let's in the fire world, the cutting edge technology was a bucket,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Which was the same in 1776.
Yeah. Maybe a steam pumper, right? Some horse-drawn equipment, right? And look at where we
Yeah.
are.
There was, okay.
But take
Let's,
this one step farther. How did you load a dump truck 150 years ago?
now,
With a hand shovel,
yeah,
right?
by hand.
By hand.
Yeah. The pinnacles of advanced fire research at that time was figuring out how to either make the fire boiler that was pulled by horses more efficient. Okay. And if I had a sneaky guess, I bet they built some pretty efficient boilers. All right. Or trying to figure out how to incorporate some sort of breathing apparatus while fighting a fire.
Right.
Because that was about the time that SCBAs, as we know them, were really starting to be poked at in Germany.
Yeah.
The Germans were playing with that in the French.
Right. So if it wasn't for these progressions, right, and these advancements, you guys would be cleaning up horse shit in your veins.
Right.
And, bottom line, that's it is what it is, right? So somebody has to be a pioneer,
Yeah.
right?
Ideally, that's the kicker. And that poor bastard, I can't imagine at what sort of hell they caught in the 1800s because they've been doing it literally that way for the last 150 years.
Well, and you and I do it every day. And we don't realize to the extent that we do this holding back, right? Because you don't know. Like today, the hot new today, and I'm gonna get hate mail, is that hen nozzle, right?
Oof.
I think that's the most gimmicky thing on the face of the earth.
I'm going to
And
counter.
history may prove me wrong.
There's more and more departments coming out that are big fans of the head nozzle.
Right. No, I could be completely wrong, and I'm fine with being completely wrong. Like, the future will tell whether or not Jesse's right or wrong, but I just see it as a gimmick. We already have a tool that does this. It works just fine, and I'm that old crotchety, we're not changing kind of guy, right?
Right. But are you
But it's not the end of the world if we change either.
are you a smoothbore guy or are you an automatic nozzle guy?
I'm an automatic nozzle guy
Right. So
because there's some utility there.
there's two of us in this room, or two, that are both automatic nozzle guys. And here's the problem. That was the technology that we learned with, and that's the technology that we're comfortable with.
Correct. Correct. And albeit wrong for me to decide what's right for anybody else, right?
Right. But now let's take this a step further, okay? Because this ties into Eric's question and it ties into what we're talking about here too. Is how do you be brave and pioneer a new concept, thought, ideology, tool, equipment, technology?
All of it.
How do you be a pioneer? What how do you break the mold and take a thought to the next level?
So several things come into my mind, right? And I think first we got to kind of dive down the rabbit hole of what it actually takes to go against the grain and be that pioneer, right? It takes a certain mindset and a willingness to accept change and to accept that there's a possibility that something can be better, right? It's not just this, well, this is the way we were taught, this is the way it's always going to be, this is the way it's always been, this is the way that my great granddaddy did it,
Right.
right? You have to have that willingness to accept things, right? And whether it's the hen nozzle or it's the SCBA or it's the, hey, we've got this thing that runs on gasoline and we don't have to have these horses anymore,
Or it's social media policies.
or social media, right? It's all these things that that are pioneering, right? And not one thing outweighs all the other things. It all comes together, right? And social media is a good example of where we're seeing a lot of departments where what wasn't the norm 5 years ago is actually the norm today because somebody pioneered that, right? It's more likely that there's departments, whether they're paid or volunteer, that are using social media to engage their people, the the citizenry, or they're recruiting members, or they're doing public ed, or they're doing all these things through social media that 5 years ago that was such a faux pas
Right.
that you couldn't touch it, right? Like it's really interesting to take that, like it's more than a step back, right?
Here's here's one of the crazier things that's happening in Texas right now. And if I had to guess, if it's happening in Texas, it's happening nationwide in the US. Volunteerism's up.
Considerably.
Why? No one, almost no one can physically answer that question. I
I'm
know.
going to throw this answer out here. It might possibly be because of a podcast.
Oh yeah, 100. I wasn't going there, but you're right. That is the only reason. Yeah, it's it's so funny. I talk to departments, middle of nowhere. Rule as you can get. Okay. Nothing. Dirt floors, 1980s engines. They have members coming in. Okay. I know why that is. I truly know why that is.
I know why, but we should include everybody else.
It's so funny to talk to the other departments about it, though, because when you talk to them, they're like,
Oh, I can't do that.
I don't know why. Like, Jesus, I'm scared to death. I got to buy gear. I get that part. That's a terrible problem for some departments. Some organizations aren't as dirty, rotten, spoiled as we are. I get that. Okay. That's one of the best absolute blessings that you could possibly have. You have so many new people that you're going to have to go to your local county or city or whatever governing body and tell them, I
I
have
need
all these new people, but I got to get them stuff. Okay. I assure you, run to the bank with that. Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing you need to do is figure out how to at least basic train them. That's a whole nother podcast, and we're going to leave it at that. Okay. But it's shocking to me that people don't, chiefs, organizations don't actually understand why. Because again, remember, we've all been told volunteerism's dead. It's collapsing. No one wants to do this.
It's unsustainable.
It's unsustainable. There's no market for it. I don't know why anyone's doing this. Well, how many more members did you pick up this year? 5. Well, how many did you have before? 3. So you increased your membership by 150%.
Right.
Yes. What'd you do to bring them in? Nothing.
But you did do something, right?
Right.
Yeah. You put yourself out there just a little bit, right? Maybe a touch. Maybe there was a Facebook post that showed you doing something that was beneficial to the community. Maybe there was a post that showed like we need somebody. Maybe there was just 100 different things that on the surface seem so minute and so nothing.
I will always say this, and maybe 10 years down the road it'll change. Volunteerism's not dead.
No,
No, it's not dead. I mean,
arguably,
we're
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 at the prefaces of a larger the the younger demographic is more interested in the things that promote volunteerism and make it better than my generation.
we've generally talked about this where Gen X, you, unfortunately, I'm a millennial. Okay. Very, very beginning of the millennials, where Gen Z, Jesus Christ, they're actually ones that are going to save us.
Right.
Gen X really screwed
Yeah,
everything
no,
up,
we screwed this up from
and
9 ways from Sunday.
millennials compounded it.
Yeah.
Okay. But Gen Z are the ones that are coming in that realize, and the most beautiful part about it is that they're the ones that are coming in for the true community service part.
Yeah.
That's the
No,
craziest part.
it's way more pure than anybody from my generation came at it from, right? My generation was completely selfish, was just horrible, right? We're horrible. And I see it. Like I see it in the young people that come to work at where I work. I see it in the young people that come become members of our organization. I see it in 1,000 other organizations that I have contact with everywhere, right?
Right.
And then I see the other side of it, right? Because I I I get to do some cool things, right? Some cool things that Jesse shouldn't get to do. I I get to be an ambassador to the forum for NVFC.
Excellent.
What does that mean? Right? Doesn't mean jack shit, right?
What is NVFC?
National Volunteer Fire Council. That means there's a forum where people can talk about stuff. And periodically, Jesse gets on there and tries to spark a conversation. And I can always tell who I'm talking to just by reading the post. I don't have to have their bio. I don't have to know who they are. But when it's in all capital letters and it's like, it's never going to work. It's terrible. It's horrible. There's nobody wants to do this. People around here, we're a town of 2,000. That's the latest one. We're a town of 2,000. And it wasn't Jesse's post that got the ire of this individual. Jesse started a conversation and let it ride. And a good friend of the podcast, though, Mike from Kentucky,
Okay.
Mike chimes in and says, "Hey, it's all good. People want to do this. It's tremendous. We've seen tremendous growth. We've accomplished these things by being proactive." And Mike gets the ire of this other individual that speaks in all capital letters, right? That we're a town of 2,000 and we can't do it. Well, I know a town of 2,000 that's the third largest volunteer fire department in the state of Texas.
Now, maybe the U.S.
Right. I know this place exists and I know how they do it. And it's so weird to just see the denial of people in their box, right? This is a new person to the forum that I've never seen a post before. They've been real active here lately in all caps, right? And y'all don't go terrorize this poor guy. I'm sure he's 143 years old and he's doing the best he can on his
Jesus how to make his
yeah,
sandwich.
he's got his handy computer. He's found the internet. Like, I don't terrorize this poor guy because he just doesn't know. He's in the bubble that he's in, right? And he's not pioneering.
It is. It's one of those things where how do you pioneer something? You have a radical idea, but you are by yourself in your organization.
Man, the cards are stacked way against you. Way against
How do you do it?
you. It's one, it takes determination, right?
Okay.
That's kind of that no quit attitude, right? We'll have that no quit attitude when we're rescuing a victim from a house, but we won't have that no quit attitude when it comes to growing and developing our organization.
So how do we do that?
Yeah, that's where you separate the wheat from the chaff.
You have to have conversations.
Right.
You have to have those conversations. Okay. You have to start talking to the membership. Here's the kicker. Who do you start with?
The bottom.
I would argue the top.
Really. I would say the bottom every time.
Talk with the top. Okay. Here's why. You need to know the opinion, the consideration, the mindset, the obstacles that are being laid out in front of you. Okay. The goal of that conversation is to ultimately get to the point of trying to achieve, I don't know what that would look like, or, huh, maybe we should try.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming out of that, you're going to the next rung of the ladder. You're not trying to change anyone's thought.
So
That's the biggest obstacle in all of this is that people go into it in the sense of a passionate debate and that you're trying to change someone's opinion. Don't change their opinion. Open their perspective.
Wow, that's way deeper than what most people can even comprehend, right?
Yeah, but that conversation's not weeks. It's 10 minutes. Because the fact of the matter is that they've never had that conversation from the perspective of just having it with someone
Well,
else.
well, we're destined to be so ingrained to our own perspective, right?
Well, it's a comfortability thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
The human body is one of the most incredible machines on the face of the earth. You can break a leg and completely compensate with the other leg to continue to still be mobile, even though it's going to completely cripple you in 20 years.
Right.
Okay. The human brain's the same. You can sit there and be scarred, have an injury, terrible conflict, whatever, sickness, and you're going to compensate for it the entire time. Delay, 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 death, because it becomes such a big problem.
So I want to be a pioneer. I've got this idea and I think it changes the world, right? And I get a handful of people to listen to me and I get it the start of it to happen. How do I get it to the finish line? And when is the finish line? Because I don't think the finish line is what we think the finish line is.
Uh, okay. Here's my idiot one sided opinion. You start with the conversation, okay? And you have the conversation top to bottom. We don't care what everyone's opinion is. Just start the conversation, okay? Once you have the conversation top to bottom, what's the next part of this? It's physical action. Now, this is going to be entirely dependent upon what what are you trying to achieve? What do you need? And at the end of the day, it's always political. Are you trying to change your social media policies? Which I would argue is real easy. Okay. Because what you ask for is just permission to take over the Facebook page. And the condition of you taking over or creating the Facebook page is that you're going to send everything to the chief and he's going to approve it. The kicker is this is the hard part. You have to make the individual sacrifice to the next level.
Right.
Okay. That's how you actually institute change. Are you willing separate the wheat from the chaff? Are you willing to bitch about it? Or are you willing to do something about it?
So that's a very Jesse perspective of things, right? Are you willing to put your money where your mouth is, right? Are you willing to take a personal sacrifice for something that is not to your personal gain, for the greater organizational good, whatever a thousand different scenarios, right? Are you willing to miss your kid's birthday for a call? That's bottom that's easy. Anybody can do that. You willing to lose money?
Are you willing to not take a job that's going to pay you exponentially more because you're more committed to the organization?
Right.
Okay.
And I that is not a perspective everybody can have.
I would argue
It's detrimental if everybody is
at the
that.
end of the day, that's not good. One of the most incredible things, and I think it'd make a fantastic book, is at least on the volunteer fire department side, my favorite quote of all time, and it's my senior yearbook quote. The difference between commitment and involvement is like a ham and eggs breakfast. The pig was committed and the chicken was involved.
Right.
The
But it
the incredible thing is this is one of the few things in my life I've ever encountered where I see people truly committed and they're making decisions that are arguably they shouldn't do that based on the volunteer fire department.
but it happens. And I definitely want to clarify, like, everybody shouldn't take this level of commitment, right?
No, but we're
But
talking
but should your leaders have that level of commitment? Should your pioneers have that level of
that's the
commitment?
difference. If you're trying to be a pioneer, truly break the mold,
You have to have
I
that
I
level of
I hate to tell you this, the level of commitment that you have to have is staggering.
right.
And it's here's here's the sad irony in it. Okay. No one cares. No one's gonna say thank you. And realistically, at the end, you're gonna get burned to the ground,
They might fire you.
possibly fire you. Okay. And you have to find satisfaction in that.
No, yeah, totally you do. And the craziest part of all of it, right, is that if you're engaged in that selfless, totally committed aspect of it, like, it's gonna bug the crap out of you when it doesn't go your way.
Oh yeah.
But you're gonna sleep well at night knowing that you did the right things, right? It wasn't for you, it was for the organization. You know, I think that in some aspects you and I have pioneered quite a bit of stuff, right? And continue to pioneer quite a bit of stuff, right? We're not new to this. We're not I look at it as like this is 30 years of me studying the whole what's happening around me, right? And learning how things actually work and how they should work. And I think that a lot of times our efforts get diminished because it's so much in the gray area or it's so much outside of the norm that people don't understand it, right?
Right. Well, here's our problem. And I do mean grandparents. At the end of the day, we're an island.
Correct. Everybody
Okay.
is.
And then particularly our county is an island. And I truly mean this. And by all means, email us if you don't agree. If you take the 9 departments in Hood County and rank them worst, best to worst, okay? And then you take that list and compare it to the state of Texas,
The
I'll
worst is the best.
I'll be generous and say top 15,
Yeah.
okay? Because there's 9 departments in Hood County. I assure you, those 9 departments in Hood County are in the top 15 in the state of Texas. And the fact of the matter is Texas is so damn big that it's going to rank nationally. And I would be shocked, and I mean this, and there's no way to do the proverbial penis measuring contest here.
Uh, solid inch and a quarter.
Okay. But if you took those 9 departments nationally and ranked them, I'm telling you, they're in the top 25.
And it's not on one metric, right?
No,
It's
no,
on
no, no, that's not fair to measure it on one metric.
it's
You have
on
to
this
take
host
the
of metrics.
whole picture. Okay, you have to take calls, you have to take training, you have to take response, you
Membership.
have to take membership, you have to take funding, you have to take compliance, you have to take certifications, you have to take 75 other things. And I'm telling you, these 9 departments in Hood County are the rarest unicorn in the United States.
I'd sure hate to be the guy that screwed that up.
Oh,
Ooh, son.
okay. And
And the stupid part is that most of the people don't realize that.
yeah, in our organization and in our county.
Yeah.
Now,
Don't understand it because of the island.
I realize I'm being a little braggadocious, kind of a douchebag right now. I'm sorry. Here's how we got there. 2 things, okay? One of them you can work on, but it's up to you. Because the fact of the matter is we took a subsidy from 0 to $125,000 a year. Okay. You need money. The fact of the matter is money makes the world go around. Okay. Here's the second thing, and I don't give a shit where you at. You can do this on your own. Train,
Yep.
train, train to a standard, train to a certification, train to paper delivered. Okay. That's the secret of our success. Money and training. Training's the most important one.
Well, and then there's the other 3,000 caveats that go along with that, right? The exposure, the acknowledgement, the acceptance, the
Yeah, but a lot of
100
the,
other things, right?
a lot of that happens
Because of the other two, right?
because of the other two. The chief figures out how to fund the organization. The organization realizes they want to train. And here's the kicker. Number 2 is the easiest one. I've yet to ever see a department that's ever been offered training and turn it down.
Yeah.
They will show up in droves to training. Here's the training they won't show up to. The exact same shit you did for the last 30 years.
Right.
You have to figure out how to add value to your people. Because the second that the people realize they're worth something and they're not people, they're firefighters. And those firefighters protect their community. And they have a vested interest in the success of their community is the second that the local political apparatchiks realize there's value in the organization, they'll give you money.
Right. Yeah, it's staggering how understood some of these concepts are because it's not just Hood County and Granbury that proves this theory out, right?
No,
Like this is something and very unique position that Matt and I are in where we get to communicate and talk to all these people globally, right? It's globally. And it's very common thread. It's very matter of fact. Like these things matter. You do this, it matters. And it's no different than our buddy Mike in Kentucky, right? Like they all they needed was it wasn't that we had the greatest idea that pushed them to the brink of greatness. It's that they had a desire to be a pioneer.
Right? I mean, we'll throw
All we did was say, "Hey, it's okay to be a pioneer." That's
we'll,
all we did.
we'll throw some names out there in Texas that we know
Or
pioneers that are incredibly advanced and progressive for the changes they've made in their organizations. Terralingua, Alpine, Seminole, Canyon, Hoover, Hartley, Dalhart, Ponder,
Robinson,
Robinson, big one. There's Tom Green County, Walls,
Wall, Grape Creek, Dove Creek. Like
right?
the list goes on
And
and
on and
on
on.
and on.
Like, and I'm sorry if I didn't
And
mention
down
it.
to the Cressons and the
Yeah,
it's
Crescent, North Hood County, Station 70, Lipan, Toller. Holy crap. Indian Harbor. Holy Christ.
yeah,
Even Pecan Plantation. Even with all the difficulties they're facing right now, they fundamentally are capable of so much.
right.
De Cordova, solid organization. Crescent, the sleeper, the giant. No one knows about. No one's ever heard of. Gigantic. And if I forgot them, North Hood County,
No, yeah, we mentioned them. And it goes on outside of and the De Leons, the Comanches,
Morgan Mill,
Morgan Mills, the even the Erath counties and the all these people that all these departments,
Edgecliff Village,
right, that are just pushing the envelope of what's acceptable and what's considered the norm for a volunteer fire organization, right?
Pasadena, League City,
Yeah,
Refugio,
yeah, they're all
yeah,
over. Yeah, far.
Far, yeah,
What Angleton? Angleton's the one that
Eagleton's
I
were
work
the one.
extensively with, right? And help them like and then you go into other states and other parts of the country and other nations, right? Like it's this these concepts are not so foreign that they're impossible. And it all relies on being a pioneer.
I don't know why. So, long story short, I need to send another challenge coin
To Australia?
to Australia.
Excellent.
Cameron in Australia. I need to send it to you. Here's the problem. So I originally sent him a challenge coin, and the damn delivery mailman took the coin.
Excellent. Because it means a lot to the mailman, right?
Right. So I got to figure out how to send the damn thing to him.
Well, they are kind of, it's weird because I got stopped at TSA wanting to know if I had a weapon in my wallet. And I said, well, there's a really giant ass challenge coin in there. Guy opens my wallet and he says, yes, yes, there is. Sticks it back in and says, have a good day.
It's awesome.
But I, as we wrap this up, man, because we're getting there to that wrap up time, right? And I just if your plan is to be the status quo and not break new ground and not do something new and awesome and not push the envelope of what the capabilities are or limit the capabilities, or decrease the capabilities, that's not a good plan, right? I hear all the time volunteers won't do this, or it's too much for our membership, or all these things that I hear out there in the public space.
I wanted to talk about that for half a second. I'm
Yeah,
so
just
sorry to derail that.
you've got this half a second, right?
So,
All right, time's up.
yeah, we're busy VFD,
Right.
okay? And when I first became chief, the city asked me to, for lack of better words, can you cover more of the fundraising? And I said, it's real simple. It's the mechanics trying. Do you want us to show up? Do you want us to be fast? Or do you want us to fundraise? Pick two. Because the fact of the matter is we have too much of a call volume and we need to show up to it. You're getting a gigantic benefit with us being volunteer. Don't ask us to fundraise because we can't.
And not that we can't. Is that where our time is beneficial? And I understand there's departments out there where that is life or death for 'em, right?
Right.
That is life or death.
But they've chosen that.
Well, they may not have chosen, it may have been bestowed upon them.
Historically,
Right. Historically, very much true.
have you made the argument as to why your local government institution needs to fund you?
Right. And arguably, some of them don't have the money to fund them, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's not a perfect triad.
There's a county I know in the state of Texas that has 64 people in it.
Yeah.
Like, you're screwed.
Like, they should at least have a 50-person volunteer fire department with 60 people in the county, right?
Yeah, according to our metric.
I don't see any reason why that's not achievable, right?
In their case, no.
But, you know, don't don't give up on the things that can make a difference.
Right?
Don't don't limit yourself to your scope of impact, right?
Be brave.
Be brave.
Try.
It,
It's gonna suck.
what's the worst thing that can happen? You end up back where you are right now.
The first one through the brick wall always has a bloody nose.
With
Period.
that, and try and be brave and bloody nose, right? So we were talking about this earlier. Uh, I I am definitely, you know, barring any unforeseen tragedy, going to make that run for the fourth VP for the state firemen and fire marshals, right?
Excellent.
That is a thing that we behind the scenes been doing a lot of
What
discussion on.
what is that position?
So it's a board member for the state association for Texas for basically representing the volunteer fire service in Texas. Like
Okay.
the association has members that are paid firefighters and combination departments and all these things, but the bulk of it is volunteers. And it's a 20-ish thousand member organization, right?
Oh, is it that high?
It's not a small organization. And very much an elected position. There's very much a road to being elected. It's not a gimme thing. It's not a, hey, you're a pretty good dude. Here's the seat, right? I got to work at this, right? But I feel like in order for me as a person personally to take that next level of where I think I can do some good. I think that's where it's at, right? I've got to keep advancing uh, not only our organization, but all the members of all the organizations out there. I've got to make their voices heard. I've got to help them achieve greater things. And I think the achieving greater things part for me is kind of that's the linchpin, right? I know how a organization can achieve greater things. I've worked on projects at the state level to achieve greater things. I think the next step is to help the collective whole achieve greater things.
Yeah. That is what pioneer is defined by.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily saying that you need to join the state board, but
it's a logical next step.
Right? Don't be afraid to advance your organization. If you're having a hard time, communicate. Basic stuff. Talk to everyone. There's a compromise. Figure it out.
Right.
Okay. You have to want what is best for, oddly enough, the community.
Yeah.
Not the organization, the community.
Yeah.
You figure that out, the rest of it falls in place.
Well, seeing that we're 52 minutes in,
way longer than we thought. By the way,
the wizard will be upset.
Yes, he'll be sad. We've have technically moved motherships.
Yeah, no, we're in Studio D.
Yes.
Yeah, A, B, C. Yeah, D. We're in Studio D.
So we're moving on up.
And we realize there may be an echo. There may be some harmonics. It's definitely a project in waiting.
Right.
But hopefully this move gets us closer to seeing our glorious faces.
Maybe. I look like a mattress with a rope tied around it. So I'm perfectly fine with audio.
Audio. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to get you a razor.
No.
Remove that blue hair dye.
Maybe.
And take out that nipple ring.
No.
Okay. Well, we tried. We did try.
It's 1 of 2 rings. So, on that fantastic note, to leave you thinking about that, this is It Tastes Like Burning cast from our new studio. If you ever have questions, concerns, comments, by all means, email us at ittasteslikeburningcast@gmail.com. If you feel like supporting us, go on Patreon. It Tastes Like Burning Cast.
Or hit the merch store.
And you can always go on YouTube. It Tastes Like Burning Cast. Always, for everything, like, click, and subscribe. This is Matt.
This is Jesse.
Thank you.